Hi everybody, it's Andy and welcome to my office in Los Altos, California. I'm an attorney licensed to practice law in California as well as New York. In this video, I'm going to go over California Advanced Healthcare Directives. Now, if you're like most people, you probably have no idea what an Advanced Healthcare Directive is. So I'll explain the idea to you like this. So a while ago, I put out a video that goes over powers of attorney. I'll go ahead and link that video right over here in case you haven't seen it already. But that video, obviously, I guess, goes over the California powers of attorney. But if you take the idea of a power of attorney just kind of generally, kind of, in the abstract, the basic idea is that a power of attorney is a document that you sign that gives decision-making authority that you normally would exercise over yourself and gives that authority to somebody else for some reason. A common reason why you might do that would be, let's say that you're getting older and you find that you're getting more forgetful. So to make sure that all your bills are paid on time, that you don't get into trouble with the IRS, for example, you might give decision-making authority over finances, called a financial power of attorney, to somebody else to make sure that you don't run into trouble financially. That idea of giving over authority from you to somebody else, or I guess phrased alternatively, the idea of receiving authority from somebody else to act on their behalf, that idea in California applies in two contexts. There's the financial context where you might have decision-making authority over somebody's bank account, over somebody's retirement account, over their business, over real estate that they own, things like that. And it also applies to health. So the thing is, let's say that it's something where you're going into a hospital for surgery, and the hospital wants to know, okay, what do we do? Who do you want to speak for you? Who do you want us to take directions, I guess, from in the event that you're in a coma, in the event that you can't be woken up, I guess, if you're permanently vegetative, who do you want us to take instructions from? Speaking of that, actually, the most common situation I think that most normal people will kind of encounter this will be if you go into a hospital for surgery of some kind. Every hospital that I've ever kind of dealt with, if you go into the hospital at all, they will want a advanced healthcare directive to basically prepare themselves if something bad happens and you die, you become comatose, etc. So regardless of the situation in which you encounter it, the terminology used, power of attorney for healthcare, advanced healthcare directive. I've also heard it called a living will. I'm not sure if that's an antiquated term now, but living will, advanced healthcare directive, power of attorney for healthcare, regardless of what you call it, the authorizing law in California is the same. So it's California Probate Code section 4670, which, as always, I will go ahead and paste and link down below in the description for you. But 4670 authorizes the idea of a document that you can sign that gives decision-making authority over your health to somebody else. What kind of health decisions can this document cover? That's going to be in California Probate Code section 4671B, which I will also paste and link down below. But if you read 4671B, it's very general. It basically says decisions related to personal care, whatever that means in a particular situation, can be delegated. 4671B also includes a non-inclusive list. For example, where the person will live, the person who gives the authority, the principal, where the principal will live, what kind of recreation the principal will engage in, what kind of food the principal wants to eat, things like that. A better kind of way to look at this, I think, which is also related to a common question, is what, is there a sample, I guess, like what kind of stuff can I put in a power of attorney for healthcare? Is there a sample that I can basically look at? And the answer to that question about the sample, that is, can be answered yes in two ways. So the first way to answer the question yes, basically, is the Veterans Administration in the United States, the VA, they put out a template form that they use if you go into their hospitals. And if you want to look that up yourself, that's VA Form 10-0137, which I'll write over here as well as paste and link down below for you. It's a PDF. You can go ahead and download the VA kind of template form for free. You can use it as a guide. So if you read over that section, it goes over a lot of stuff about organ donation, I think if I remember correctly, it allows you to specify what you want donated, what purposes you want your organs donated for. What else? It goes over care that you want to get if you end up in a vegetative state. It goes over what kind of pain management care you want. So it's much more kind of real world useful, I guess, than something where it's like, okay, well, personal care decisions can be delegated. Nobody knows what that means. The VA sample, the VA template rather, is actually much more useful in the real world, I think. So if the VA form is not useful for you for whatever reason, the California Probate Code actually has a sample advanced healthcare directive in it, and that's California Probate Code section 4701, which, as always, over here and pasted a link down below. So if the VA template doesn't work for you, you can't find another template or sample that is to your liking, go ahead and take a look at the statutory one in 4701. And if you print it out and look at it and kind of format it, etc., cross things out, add things, etc., hopefully you can get a version that is useful for you. So I guess the takeaways for this video, number one is that an advanced healthcare directive is basically a power of attorney for healthcare. You can determine what decision-making authority you want to give to somebody else in the event that you cannot care for yourself in terms of health, well-being, etc. And if you want samples, which I think samples are probably going to be the most useful real-world things for the average person, the Veterans Administration in the United States has a really great template, sample, I guess, that you can go ahead and look at. Modify it if you want, use it as is if you want. California Probate Code section 4701 also has a fantastic sample, I guess, that you can use. So hopefully all that made sense. Go ahead and like this video, share, comment, subscribe, all that nice stuff, and I will talk to you guys next time. Thanks.